Hey, everybody, and welcome in. It's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast. We're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside the life and times of our Dynasty League. I'm your host, Mike. With me, as always, is my friend Andrew. And this week, we got a special guest who's going to help us talk about the AFC North. And for those at home that don't know, that would be your Bengals, your Ravens, your Cleveland Brownies, and I believe there's somebody that I'm forgetting. Who could I be forgetting? Oh, right, those Pittsburgh Steelers. Gross. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But let's welcome in our guest, Ryan, aka Slickburn. How you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
All right. It's been a while since we've had you on the show. Glad to have you back over this summer. How has your summer been?
Oh yeah, it's been awesome. I'm coming off a couple of vacations right now, so I'm kind of vacationed out now. But I just went with Josh. Actually, we did a camping trip up in the Adirondacks.
Yeah,
Um,
you guys do that every year, don't you?
yeah, we go different places. So this time we went up kind of north by me in New York.
Awesome. And
Nice.
Andrew, how are you doing, buddy?
Super busy.
Super busy. So
Work-
busy, in
work
fact,
is
folks.
crazy.
If you don't know, Andrew is currently still writing notes for today's show. He's making some last minute changes. There must have been something on the waiver wire that he saw that's like, all right, this is totally going to change everything.
No, I am flying by the seat of my pants. So
Well, this is
ill
the
prepared.
earliest we've done it that I remember.
Yes.
Usually I'm going out until like 11 or midnight or something
Yep.
in my time, so appreciate it.
Hey, actually, it works for everybody. My home life with wife and kids, my kids are upstairs playing in the pool. My son and my wife are actually heading up to go to a birthday party, and I got to go pick them up. So my wife said, "Hey, can you podcast early?" I'm like, yes, I can. Everybody's busy and distracted. I don't have to be interrupted. Perfect. Now is the time. Let's take advantage of it so I don't have to be up super late. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. The summer doesn't give us a lot of news to talk about, but here's what we got so far. Chargers are signing wide receiver Keenan Allen to a 1-year deal. What do you guys think about that? Relevant? Irrelevant?
Well, hey, I didn't drop him. He's still
No.
on my team.
That's good.
So I'm happy he got signed, I guess.
I think it's great that he went back. I assume it'll be a 1-year deal and done. Like, you know what, guys? I'm hanging the cleats up. I'm going to be done. I'm going to retire with the team that drafted me, that I played forever on, come back on a team-friendly deal, and hopefully he's able to capture some kind of form from his past. He's with Herbert. They got history. I'm hoping
I have
things.
a great comp for this, and that's Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
Also on my team, making a late career comeback. So I guess I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not certainly not holding my breath.
All right, that's fair.
I wonder if it says
realistically,
anything. Does it say anything about what they think about the rookies that they have, or I don't
No.
know. No.
I think it just adds up some depth pieces. I think it's great that they brought him back. 'Cause I don't think he's going to steal the show, but I think it does add some veteran presence to that room that could help for some development.
I think he's got competition with the two rookies, um, Quentin Johnson and Trey Harris, are number 2 and 3, so he'll likely be number 4 on the depth chart. But there can be games where he steals the limelight. I think
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
He's still got a few games,
I think so. Of all of the aging wide receivers that are still playing, like your DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, I have higher hopes for Keenan Allen this year than those types of other players.
Yeah, I agree.
Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison will be suspended for the first 3 games of the season as a result of the investigation and his plea deal for the DUI. That means your Jalen Taylor assets are going up in value. So if you've got a Jalen Taylor on your waiver wire, guys, go out there and go grab him. Rams extended running back Kyron Williams 3 years, $33 million with $23 million guaranteed. Good for him. he's been doing really well for them, so no reason not to pay him. And they're not breaking the bank here.
I don't think they don't have much of a backup anyway.
Blake Corum.
I mean, they got Blake Corum, but he didn't see the field very much last year.
No.
And it'll probably be the same this year.
Yeah, Kyron was actually pretty solid for them last year, healthy-wise.
Yep.
They drafted another rookie too, so it was a little bit of a worry that they hadn't signed Kyron yet. I have him as a keeper in one of my leagues, so at least I was kind of like looking at that situation. But they drafted Jarquez Hunter, so it's sort of like, well, now they got Corum and they got a new draft pick. What are they thinking? Are they just gonna, not do a new deal? But 3 years now I feel a lot better.
A lot better. That just adding depth.
I wonder if maybe he was going into the negotiation saying, "I want 44," so they drafted the rookie to say, we can walk away from.
Is there a joke there?
If it was, we missed the punchline. I think he froze.
Oh, he's back.
Second.
Okay, I think he froze.
If they may have drafted the rookie to say, "Wait a minute, it's not going to be that way," so they forced him to settle at 33.
A little negotiating leverage.
Yeah, we'll draft this rookie, and now your price just dropped.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's actually a pretty smart strategy if it works that way. Chargers running back Najee Harris has been seen walking laps at practice while he recovers from eye injury, which I thought was a rather weird statement. And the walking laps was in quotes. It's like, okay, cool. So Najee Harris is walking laps from his eye injury. Like, cool.
I sent you that article where it said it was fake.
Yeah. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe Najee Harris will find a new team at some point early on in the season when a running back goes down, knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if it does, Najee Harris could be a prime trade target. They've got O'Marion Hampton. What do they need Najee for?
My Najee Harris shares are just the stock is taking a tumble here.
Yes.
Speaking of stocks tumbling, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin has requested a trade.
Oh my God! Another person on my team, Mike. What is this? Customized for Slick news?
Yeah, it's all bad news for Slick. I kind of saw this one coming though, right? Because they haven't signed a deal. He hasn't got the extension. He's unhappy with the way things developed. And to be honest with you, I think this team is in trouble if they don't get this done. But in some weird news, it's rumored that he's being shopped to Miami for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. I imagine it'd be like a 1-year rental. I don't know how much Tyreek has got left, but hey, bring Tyreek into the Commanders, a team that's probably playoff bound more than Miami is. And Terry can go to Miami and sign a new deal.
Well, good luck for both of them if that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. That is. Now, I would like to point something out. For those that share multiple leagues with us, our friend Donnie made an interesting trade for Terry McLaurin this week. And when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't get it. Why would you do that, Donnie? That doesn't seem like a good deal. Now, I got to remember which league that was in. That was a month ago. No, it was just recently. He traded away. No, not there. Oh, now I made my computer freeze. Dang it.
So if you were to trade during this time, I was also looking for a trade too, and I can't find it between me and you.
The only trade between you and I that comes to mind is the trade we made where I sent you Chris Olave for the 102, where I drafted Jahmyr Gibbs.
It was crazy, man.
Okay. That's neither here nor there. All right. No, this was one that didn't go through. You'd wanted for a title run like Terry McLaurin, and I was like, I think he's still got a good prospect next year. So like, I think I'm gonna like keep him. But now I'm kind of
Here it is. Found it. It's in
Donnie
our
traded
super.
away.
Yeah, Donnie traded away Terry McLaurin and a 3rd-round pick for Green Bay wide receiver Jaden Reed in a Superflex league.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but
I did not see that as significant value. I did not. I would have Terry McLaurin considerably higher than Jaden Reed.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely disrespecting the age, like we always do in Dynasty.
Mm-hmm. So Terry McLaurin and a 3rd, and he got Jaden Reed. But now, knowing this is before the announcement of the trade, so Donnie either has inside information, somehow got his finger on the pulse and found out that Terry McLaurin's unhappy, requesting the trade. Would you rather have Jaden Reed, who's going to be playing for this team, or an upset Terry McLaurin who could be traded off to God knows where?
McLaurin, he's a better receiver on any team.
Yep, I'm on that camp too.
All right.
The only thing that would worry me is if Washington digs in and says, "Don't play then, sit."
We'll penalize you for all the games you miss.
And then he's useless in fantasy, right? That would be my only worry.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Le'Veon Bell situation in a while, in my memory, but that transaction still lingers in everyone's mind as a fear, right?
And I think that's more of the reality. If you want to sit the year out, you can, but it's going to cost you. And for Le'Veon Bell, it cost him dearly.
Yes, his career.
Yeah, it's over. He couldn't get paid. He came back, got the money he would have gotten had he stayed where he was, where they would have featured him and made him something special on the team. Instead, he went to no man's land, did nothing, and faded off into the ether. Okay. Last bit of news. It's going to come up again later. Cleveland decided they needed a 5th quarterback and signed Tyler Huntley.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
By the way, that's a 6th quarterback.
Is it? Who is? Okay. I only know the 4. Who else do they have?
I don't know. You know them all. Deshaun Watson is probably who you're not thinking
Oh, yeah, that's
of.
right. Okay. He doesn't count. Come on.
They can't get rid of him.
Yeah, he doesn't count. I guess you are correct. This will be the 6th quarterback. Deshaun Watson is there. But Deshaun Watson, he's still injured. He's on the PUP list. He's not playing.
I don't know. I feel like they buried him in the backyard or something. He doesn't.
Oh my goodness. They made him a part of the sports med team. He gets all the massages.
God.
Mm-hmm. Keeping the players happy.
And the sad thing is the oldest player in the league is their starting quarterback.
Hey, that starting quarterback has had a great resurrection or renaissance to his career. Shows up, falls asleep on the bench, gets called into action, throws a bunch of passes, gets some touchdowns, and is like, well, guys, I'm done. I'm going to go back to the bench and have a nap. This is great. Joe Flacco, to me, is now living his best life. Super Bowl winner, MVP, just fell from grace and has now found just enough. You know what? I'm good, guys. This is great. Just keep passing me around and I'll keep getting stuff done.
Let's see if he still thinks he's living his best life after he takes that hit in week 1 or whatever.
He's going to go back to the bench then. All right.
I don't know. He's doing it. 40 years old. That's crazy. I mean, I'm 43. I just played pickleball yesterday, and I am having trouble walking today.
That's why he's Joe Flacco. Made of different stuff.
You're gonna be the first guy to collect Social Security and an NFL paycheck.
Oh my goodness. Old age and an NFL paycheck. Cool. All right. Well, we are 1 day away from preseason football. Tomorrow night, Thursday, August 7th, everything starts. We got Colts versus the Rams. We got Bengals versus the Eagles, and we got Raiders versus the Seahawks. it's still somewhat meaningless football. Not all of these teams will play their starters. They're what we believe to be their starters. Some of them will. They'll let them touch the ball. But hey, football is here, boys, and it's feeling good.
If you're a Raider fan, you actually get to see the rollout of Ashton Gentry.
Do you think he'll touch the ball? Do you think they'll let him play?
Oh, he'll play each game. As the rookie, he's got to. You got to make sure you got your investment. I can't see them sitting him. Even though he's going to be the starter, I can't see them sitting him being a rookie.
Well, you would like to think that you'd run your player and let him get
at least
some
one
reps.
quarter or a couple of the series at least, just to see because you went after him for number one. You better hope that you're getting what you
pay
draft
for.
capital. Yeah.
Trying to think of what they did with Bijan, because that was a similar situation, right? High capital, and I feel like they ran him sparingly. They did run him, but it was like 4 reps or something. Nothing
Yeah, I could
crazy.
see him like even the first series. Let them touch the ball the first three plays, and if they stay on the field, let them continue the possession. But if they're 3 and out, at least he touches the ball. He gets hit at the NFL level to make sure he doesn't turtle, and see what happens.
But getting hit at the NFL level in preseason isn't real NFL level, because not all the guys on the other side are starting players. They are guys that are trying to earn themselves a roster spot, that are trying to prove. They're still up at like 100 and some players, 120 players right now. They haven't had to pare anybody down yet.
But I could still see, like I said, I could still see him play the first series, or maybe
Hopefully.
the first couple.
I plan on trying to capture some of the games tomorrow night.
The only game that's on TV in Canuck land is the Raider game. NFL Network's not even showing anything until later on.
Okay, that brings up some other news maybe we should talk about too. I'm not sure if you guys saw the deal where ESPN bought out NFL Media, the NFL.com, NFL Fantasy, NFL Red Zone for several $1 billion, where the NFL now has a large share asset control of ESPN. Don't know what that's going to mean exactly. Red Zone isn't a thing here in Canada. It's not something that we get. Ours is DAZN. So we can't get Red Zone here. So I imagine it'll be a significant impact to US based customers. But overall, the level of control that ESPN will now get over football is kind of alarming. Let's see what they do with it. Any comments, any initial thoughts or feelings, knowing what we know now about the initial offerings of the deal?
Well, in Canada, they show ESPN on TSN, and CTV. So regular season, I don't think there'll be a change, but preseason, like I said, when I was looking through the listings, the only game that was being advertised was the Raider game
on the NFL Network.
No, it's on an American channel.
Oh, well, if the NFL Network is broadcasting it, we do get the NFL Network. Maybe it is. Downside is I have it through Rogers, and the NFL Network only comes through on standard definition. You have to be a TELUS customer to get it in HD. Bogus. Exclusivity deals suck.
It's pretty terrible. I'm not to answer your question. I don't know what I'm doing this season. I usually did YouTube TV, and that's how you could watch a lot of this stuff. But there's like so many things that like, oh, this one's on Prime only, or this one's on Peacock only, and this was that I said, okay, I'm not gonna do this. This is so much money, and I don't even know what games I'm gonna be able to watch. So.
Well, maybe now's a good time to introduce our next sponsor. I'd love to have one.
Yeah, right. I was going to say
this would be great. There are IPTV services, right? So legitimate services that you can pay for. The one that I'm most familiar with costs about I think it's what, $25 Canadian for a 3-month service. So about $100 a year, and it gives you 12,000 channels to choose from, and everything is streaming live. So there's no pre-recording. It's just whatever is streaming on a network is streaming through this service, and you just have to kind of like know it. You do have some features and functionalities where you can go and click on your favorites, find the dialogue, find some dialogue, not dialogue, channel guides, TV guides. So I'm hearing some kids run around upstairs rather frantically. Sounds like someone had to make it to the bathroom in time. Yeah, and then you're able to tune in and kind of watch it. No recording features enabled, unfortunately. Just live TV from around the world.
So how is that? It feels like not legitimate. I know you're paying for it. So, but what like, give me an example. What's the name of a service?
In Canada, you can't have recorded content. So I can't IP torrent stuff. I can't torrent stuff and actually have a physical copy of things. That's illegal. Because you didn't pay for those rights to own a copy of it unless you have a physical copy of that show or broadcast that you're allowed. But because it's live TV, you can't have a recorded copy of it unless you subscribe to a big media company that allows you to do like a PVR system where you can record the program and play it back at your leisure, saved on your local hard drive, but they control the data. A streaming service allows you to control the stream, and the stream is fully legit. And the reason why it's legal is because you don't actually hold any of the content. It's passing through your control. So if you tune into that station and that station has to be playing something, it's up to that transmitter, and they assume all liability. You as the consumer, I pay for a service where all of these third-party streamers upload content. The platform's not liable. The consumer's not liable, but the person who's posting it is liable.
So I see what you mean. Like I have NFL Sunday Ticket, but I just like put it on my computer and throw it out there to the world. It seems like that would not be legal for me, but as the person, you trying to consume it, you're not at fault. You're just like, oh, I'm just watching this guy online, you know?
Yeah, like it's not like, hey.
As long as you're not making money on it.
I'm not making money on it, and I'm not rebroadcasting it. I'm just watching and consuming it.
No, but if Ryan was just having it on his computer and letting everybody else in the world watch it, as long as he's not charging for it, they're not going to go after type thing.
Yeah, I imagine
the piracy.
It's a weird. I don't know exactly how it works. I just know that you can find this app on the Apple Play Store, Google Play Store. It costs $4.99 to buy the app. Once you have the app, you just link it to a service you subscribe to, and there's all these different services you can subscribe to. Yeah. And the one that I use is called JFish. It's a local electric company that will come and do commercial and industrial electrical work in your place of business. And then while they're there, we'll talk to you about their JFish streaming service, because they're all Filipino.
Are you pitching this guy as a sponsor now?
I am now, because I'm going to be calling him after this and saying, "Hey, man, I just shouted you out on our podcast." Yeah, it's just kind of a little service. And he's like, "Yeah, just here's how it works." Then hooks it up, puts your little link in, boom, done. So
I mean, this is just going to keep getting bigger. These alternative options until the NFL makes this more affordable, because it's pretty crazy.
It's not just the NFL though. You have to consider in Canada, most of our broadcast rights are owned by one company, being Sportsnet. So if you want to watch hockey in Canada, you have to pay for it from Sportsnet. So to buy their package went up $100 this year. Nothing's changed, nothing's added. You get no additional features, but it costs you more. So when we used to have cable, we would pay one cable bill and get all of our content. Then streaming services became a thing. And now streaming services are splitting and dividing. Where's the cost savings to us as consumers? We're trying to watch the things that we like to enjoy, but I can't get it in one place. It's becoming very hard to consume the types of media that I enjoy, whether it's live sports or it's concerts or it's sitcoms or it's dramas or it's movies. I'm going to multiple different sources. And then you add on things like what we're doing with video podcasts and these little info series. Like there's all kinds of things. It's just a way to consume media, and it's hard to bring it all together and make it accessible to people because everybody wants to make their dollar. Tough.
If you want to move on, but I had a funny thing that I had to subscribe to HBO to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Really?
What am I doing? Yes,
HBO?
that's what I had to do. Yes, I know. It's like, what are they doing? But like, my son's really into hockey, so like we had to watch it. So there we go.
Okay. Interesting stuff, man. All right. Well, let's get down to the divisional breakdown. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about last year being the Baltimore Ravens leading the division 12-5. Pittsburgh somehow going to 10-7 with what they hobbled out onto the field. Cincinnati finally getting their act together late in the season to try and make a playoff run, finishing 9-8. And then Cleveland just living where they normally live at 3-14. So let's have a look at each of these rosters, talk about some of the things that they've done, and let's see what we think these guys are going to do this year. So first up, Ravens, the starters that we know of that we like. We got quarterback Lamar Jackson, running back Derrick Henry, wide receiver Zay Flowers, tight end Mark Andrews. Isaiah likely is down right now with an injury, surgery happening to his foot, so that does elevate Mark Andrews, in my opinion. And it comes to wide receiver, beyond Zay Flowers, I'm not sure I trust anybody from a week-to-week basis in fantasy. Does anybody agree or disagree with that? Is Rashad Bateman on anybody's radar?
He's only on the radar in that I think he did prove that he's a good wide receiver 2, but he's not going to be a wide receiver 1.
On a team that doesn't pass a lot.
Yeah, he had a lot of big plays last year, but not a lot of consistency.
Okay. We've got wide receiver LaJohntay Wester. He was drafted in round 6. And I'm seeing notes here. Wide receiver Tez Walker, 2024 4th-round pick, getting some camp praise?
Yeah, well, that was right. So Wester is a kind of a real deep sleeper. I'd never heard of him or anything. So I don't think he's a legit threat. But Tez Walker, he was drafted in the 4th round last year, but did virtually nothing. But I guess he's been getting some camp praise. I just have been hearing. So
I think it's
in there.
I think with the amount that they pass, it's difficult for anybody to rise up. Like, I'm not even super confident in Zay Flowers. I wouldn't have him as my wide receiver 1. I would not feel confident in that, knowing how well this team moves the ball without having to throw it.
It feels kind of like the Bills, to be honest. It's like, how do the Bills are like, you guys just talked about it last week. Like, how are they so good yet not have wide receiver 1s and
where are the elite weapons? How are they making this work?
Well, that's a very valid question, and I think it's a matter of both teams have decent running games, whether it be from their quarterback or their running back, so they don't have to throw as often because their running backs could, first down 4 or 5 yards, second down 3 or 4 yards. So now they're in really short yardage. Wide receiver only needs to get 2 or 3 yards to get another first down for them. Or Allen just takes off and runs on 3rd down, or in this case, Lamar Jackson takes off and runs for the needed 3 or 4 yards to get the first down. So they don't need to throw a lot. Like, they don't having. It's not like San Francisco a couple of years ago, where everything was the running backs, their wide receivers, and that was all their big plays and all their scoring and everything like that. It's the other way around here. It's all running.
Yep, I think that's probably about right. And it's too bad because I really like Zay Flowers, but he's just so hard to trust. He's got, like last year, a 5 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. But for every one of those, he's got a game that's 1 for 10. Yeah. So it's okay.
Because Derrick Henry runs the ball and dominates the game. Okay. So next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some significant changes to this team's roster from last year. We've got Aaron Rodgers is the new quarterback coming in. We've got Jalen Warren remaining after Najee Harris's departure. Do like Jalen Warren. DK Metcalf comes in as the top wide receiver target after the departure of everybody else. Tight end Jonnu Smith was a recent addition, I'm sure because his favorite coach is also an assistant coordinator here. And then that pushes tight end Pat Freiermuth down on the pecking order, who is a top 10 tight end in his own right. But where does that leave the team now? And when it comes to rookies, they did draft running back Caleb Johnson. Big fan. Drafted him in a few places this year. And then quarterback Will Howard in round 6. How long has Tomlin been a coach for this team? More than 10 years?
Yeah, probably.
Has it 20?
Let me look that up while you guys talk.
He's been there a long time. And the question here you guys wrote is Tomlin going to be on the hot seat? And I think last year he was able to cross the 500 mark. Is this year that he can't? And does that start to change the perception of Tomlin and his tenure in Pittsburgh? Because
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like it's kind of like a Pete Carroll situation in Seattle. Everyone agreed it was good, or Andy Reid in Philadelphia. Like everyone thought he's good, but sometimes you just
need to change.
And I feel like, spoiler alert, I have the Steelers under 500 going forward. So, I mean, he's got to be getting concerned about it. And the city's probably, I don't feel like they're the most patient fan base with loss. So
I'm nervous for this roster. Nervous. I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he's done himself a disservice in how he's playing out these last couple of years of his career. I like Jalen Warren. I like the draft of Caleb Johnson. They moved and got themselves DK Metcalf. Okay, cool. But is DK Metcalf going to be the guy for Aaron Rodgers? How is that going to work? Is this a guy who's willing to bend the knee to make this work? And then Jonnu Smith is Arthur Smith, his father from like a different family, gonna dictate the flow of the offense to go through Jonnu Smith? Like Aaron Rodgers usually loves total control. How is? Yeah, I don't know. Like this is all kinds of confusing. I think conflicts are going to arise if this team plays well and they actually follow a single lead, maybe. But I think there's too many Chiefs in this little party and not enough individual, like single one leader to follow. This like you got too many guys who want to run the show. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, it's really interesting to trade for Aaron Rodgers, or not trade, but
Acquire him.
Remember, it was a trade. They got him somehow, implying that like you're going for it. Basically, like okay, this was just the only piece we need, and we're gonna do it. But like, I don't feel like a lot of other people share that confidence. Maybe they do in Pittsburgh, but I'm not looking at Aaron Rodgers and being like, yeah, that's what you needed.
Yeah, you traded everything else away. You modified your offense significantly, and that's all you needed to change because your defense was so awesome, which it is. TJ Watt on that defense fixes a lot of those problems. But Aaron Rodgers, I think, brings more than he's going to take away. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals, the team with the highest paid offense. Joe Burrow, running back Chase Brown, wide receiver Jamar Chase, wide receiver T. Higgins, tight end Mike Gesicki, and recently acquired tight end Noah Fant. They drafted running back Taj Brooks, released running back Zach Moss. Neither one of those, I think, is really anything of note. But it does, to me, solidify that Chase Brown is the dude. If you're looking for fantasy points this year, those are 4, possibly 5 guys that can deliver on fantasy performances on a weekly basis, as long as they're healthy and on the field. Quick caveat there.
Well, so I know you said that you brushed Moss off last week too, but I do think getting rid of him was a big deal. I mean, they only have 3 running backs really, and one of them Samaje Perine. So I mean, it's a huge boon for Chase Brown and also for Taj Brooks. I mean, whoever's got him must be real happy. He's only an injury away from getting some significant reps.
Playing time. You're right. I'm not sure if they saved a significant amount of money by getting rid of Zach Moss, but it does solidify or provides clarity in who the fantasy assets are. And here it's a really clear picture. Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And if you need a spot start, Mike Gesicki.
It looks like Josh got him with the 507, unfortunately, and poor man. So
hey, Josh needs the help.
I like that take.
Mm-hmm. You can't be at the bottom of the season's roster every year and then somehow climb up into the mid tier and on the outside bubble forever. You got to do something, Josh, to get into the top 4. You got to do it. This is your year, buddy.
Well, this was just a great running back class. You know, pushed a lot of people down to like the 6th round. So like these running backs in the 6th round, I mean, obviously not all of them, but some of them are no joke. Like like Brooks could be good.
Could be.
He just got pushed down by all the other talent.
That's okay. You know what? Because we need years like this where we're able to replenish our rosters and the NFL replenishes its depth. All right, guys. The last team in this division, the Cleveland Browns, led by quarterback, we'll say Joe Flacco, but we'll get into the mess here shortly. Running back Jerome Ford is the elder statesman on the team. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy and wide receiver Cedric Tillman all had significantly better seasons than expected last year. Tillman did go down to injury and didn't come back as quickly, and Jerry Jeudy is going to be subject to whatever quarterback is the actual starter. They did acquire wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Who knows if he's got anything left in him. And then tight end David Njoku, who is praying to every god I'm sure he can think of to have Joe Flacco as his quarterback. Because when Joe Flacco plays football, David Njoku reaps those rewards, but doesn't seem to get targets from anybody else. Now, the rookie list is interesting. Running back Quinshon Judkins, who still hasn't signed his rookie tender and is still facing charges from battery. Tight end Harold Fannin Jr. from round 3. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel, round 3. Running back Dylan Sampson, round 4. Quarterback Shadur Saunders, round 5. Well, that's 2 quarterbacks that they took in this year's draft. Plus, they traded for Kenny Pickett, now Tyler Huntley, and Deshaun Watson's watching from some massage table on the side of the field. I don't know, Andrew. I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns.
This is a mess that's not going to get cleaned up anytime soon. You got your quarterback room that's, how do you draft probably the most, not popular, but most talked about draft pick in the 5th round, and now he's your number 5 quarterback? Like, that just speaks volume of how much of a disarray this team is in. The only thing of any value on this team right now is Njoku. And you're right. If Flacco plays, Njoku will reap the rewards, but the rest of the team, good luck, Jerome Ford. You better stay healthy, because you're going to have to run the hell out of that ball, because nobody can catch other than Njoku. And I know Flacco can still chuck the ball, but I don't think Tillman, Johnson, I don't think.
Judy and Tillman were better than you think last year.
They were great last year with Joe Flacco. No, they didn't have Joe Flacco last year, did they?
I don't know who that.
I think Flacco was
too late in the season.
No. Where was Flacco? He was with the New York Jets.
Oh, he was in Indy, wasn't he?
Was that last year? The Indy year? Yeah. Okay.
Judy actually finished as the wide receiver 15. He had a great year. Like a 9 for 235 yards in a touchdown game. He had 6 for 142 in a touchdown game. So he was wide receiver 1 week, wide receiver 4 another week. Like he blew up.
I like what Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy could do on this team if they have a stable, reliable quarterback. Now, Ryan, I'm going to flip it over to you. You added this wonderful little infographic here, the Browns quarterback stat tracker. Why don't you talk about your thoughts and feelings of the Browns, and then share some of the details in this little infographic you shared?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll do this through the lens of I kind of remember earlier maybe talking about the draft with you guys, and maybe it was Josh. I don't know, but I didn't mind the Sanders pick because it's such value in round 5, and I don't. I think what they're thinking through the year is they're going to start 4 different quarterbacks and just try them all out, and we'll see if one of them sticks. And I don't know. That's not the worst idea. I mean, it doesn't give your fan base a lot of stuff to root for. But one of them's got to take it out of the gate at least. So I put a little stat from ESPN about who's been getting the most snaps, basically. So kind of an indicator about who are they thinking they're leaning towards. So not to read all of it, but Flacco's taken 92 completion attempts, 58% completion, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Kenny Pickett's only got 34 attempts, so not very much. He's the lowest, but he's got a 67% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dylan Gabriel, who they drafted as their first choice, has actually gotten the most reps out of anyone. So that tells me like they're really trying to like get him going, right? So he's got 132 snaps, but he's done the worst. He's got 54% completion, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions. And meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders has been giving kind of in the middle ground 70 completions, but he's been doing the best statistically, 70% completion, 6 TDs, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, that is telling.
He just needs to slow down when he's driving to the stadium.
Stop getting those speeding tickets.
Definitely one problem with my philosophy, though, I just, kind of pat him on the back for this, is that, you can only give people so many reps in practice, right? So theoretically, you're developing all the time, but how can you really be developing if, you're only getting a fourth or a fifth of the reps and practices and stuff? So that is tough.
It's going to be curious to see what this team does come week 1. Is Joe Flacco going to be the starter? Because if he is, then what exactly are they trying to do? Are they trying to win games, or are they trying to develop a quarterback? Because if you want to develop behind a leader, sure, maybe Joe Flacco is that guy, and everyone else is going to sit behind Joe and learn. And then from that, they're going to filter out who the next man up is going to be. Maybe that's the philosophy. But it's got to be difficult to get the reps needed to be ready to play if you're competing with 3 other guys, now 4 potentially. And they've all gone down to injuries except for Joe. Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders have all suffered injuries in training camp this week.
It could be a situation where if you win, you continue. If you don't, we move the next guy in. And just do that throughout the whole season. If you win, you get to play again. If not, the next guy up gets the start next week, and if he wins, he gets to go. If not, and then maybe, and that's where you see. I mean, you're not really getting a guy into much of a rhythm and stuff, but I guess you get to see if the guys are going to produce, right? When you have that many guys.
Yeah, and that's a lot of guys. Now with Tyler Huntley in the mix,
I mean, you might only get 3 starts in the whole season if you lose all of your games, and everybody else does too. But
wild.
although they'll probably beat Cincinnati because they're always play Cincinnati tough.
I like some options here, but they are high risk to me. It all comes down to QB, and you're probably going to want to pivot out from these guys game to game until you see some stability, unless you're really desperate. In my guillotine league, I avoided Cleveland. knowing that I'm probably going to be stuck with my roster for a while until I'm able to buy, I was very selective on where I was going to plant my flag and make my investment. And I felt, even though there's probably some really good value here, like in round 17, Shedeur Sanders finally went and I had a shot and I took Spencer Rattler instead.
Well, breaking news: Dylan Gabriel is also a free agent in our league too. So, if anyone wants to take a shot,
yeah, as the guy who holds on to too many quarterbacks, I don't need to.
you
Load
could
up
own
here.
the next Cleveland Browns starting quarterback.
Hey, I owned Deshaun Watson and had to dump him everywhere. So no, I'm good, man. Yeah,
But I wonder though, is Shedeur Sanders the most mobile of the quarterbacks? So could
maybe.
he have an advantage over everybody else? Where if he's got to pull the ball down and run, is he your best bet to do that? I know Flacco isn't going to be.
Yeah, he doesn't have mobility.
No, Pickett, I don't think has ever had mobility. I don't know enough about Dylan Gabriel to say whether he's better running with the ball than Sanders. But some of the games that I watched of Colorado over the last 2 years, he has done a half decent job of pulling the ball down and running when he has to. So
I think
that might be his
the
ace in this
value of
thing.
round 5, what you said,
Yes,
they can't go wrong. It's costing them nothing to have Shedeur Sanders on this roster. Maybe some additional media attention, but this is a team that's been plagued with bad media forever. So I think of all the teams, they could handle Shedeur Sanders. Out of all of this, I'd love to see if he's able to actually make something out of this opportunity to rise up. Like, I never heard of Dylan Gabriel until he was drafted in the 3rd round. And then even so, I didn't really pay any attention to it until they drafted Shedeur Sanders in round 5. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like this has got, kind of noteworthy. We can talk about this. And then, yeah, wish him all the best.
maybe like for Sanders, him getting drafted so low and him being so low on the depth chart, maybe this was the shot in the arm to say, hey, quit all of the showboating, quit all of the distractions and all this other kind of stuff, and just play ball. And if you do have all this skill that your dad thinks you have, go out and prove it and rise to the top, right? Like he could be the dark horse this year, and or maybe not this year, but maybe next year, be the dark horse to take over the team and lead them to 15 Super Bowls like Tom Brady, right?
This is the team. This is the year for them to figure that out. They're not going to win a lot this year. I don't have them winning a lot this year.
It's so either, but
And with that said, let's actually predict what we think the final performance of these teams are going to be. So last year, Baltimore went 12-5, Pittsburgh 10-7, Cincinnati 9-8, Cleveland 3-14. Let's start with Baltimore. Andrew, would you like to go first on this one?
I got them back at 12-5, actually.
Any particular reason? I like the number. I think it's realistic.
The team is just consistent, right? They're going to have games that are going to be blowouts, and then they're going to have games where they should have won. Like maybe Cleveland beats them once, just because they overlooked them, or a team like that, a situation like that where they're looking past the team and the team surprises them. That team is very consistent, and I think just leave them back at 12-5.
Okay, 12-5. Ryan.
Okay, so I just went just one better than last year, so I have them at 13-4, I believe.
13-4.
I'm not in the. I lost the docs, but you can unhide it.
Sure, we'll make it. There you go. 13-4. I'm with the opinion of you guys. I think they win the division again. I don't think it's an easy division to win. Everybody, regardless of their rankings, they all play each other tough, and the wins that Cleveland gets are usually win the division. Right? You're playing some of the best teams in football. You etch out a win, but you lose everywhere else. Baltimore, I'm going to put them back at 12-5. It feels like this is a team that's always playoff ready. is Super Bowl bound at some point. Just solid defensively, solid offensively, just losing games that they at the wrong time.
They'll blow it in the first round of the playoffs again.
All right. Hey, it's to me, this is
Unless
they can go
Cleveland
live their
trades
life.
Flacco back. Unless Cleveland trades Flacco over to the Ravens and he can run them through the playoffs.
Jeez. That would be something, eh? You trade Joe Flacco back to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson goes down with injury.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is traded, comes in, rescues it. Super Bowl MVP, retire, done, out.
Isn't that how his last big playoff run was with the Ravens? Yeah.
They got Cooper Rush in Baltimore now. He did pretty good in Dallas last year, so it's not too bad.
Solid backup. All right, let's talk about Pittsburgh. Andrew, I went to you last. Slick, you want to talk about this one? Because you did reveal a little early.
Yep. Well, I just flipped it. They're 7-10.
Wow.
And I think I would have been way more confident in that if I wasn't surprised they went 10-7 last year.
Okay.
They didn't feel like a 10-7 team. I kind of remember the improbable run and how are they really doing this well with their situation. But Tomlin's a good coach. It's a good crew. 7-10 is, I mean, it's your quarterback situation. I just don't have the confidence in Rodgers, and once something starts to go bad for him, I feel like he doesn't have the tools anymore to
recover,
roll with the punches. He needs a tight ship and everything working right to make things happen. So I'm just a little more pessimistic.
Okay. I'm with you. I think this is Tomlin's first losing season. I did not have them going 7-10. I had them going 8-9. I think the team will hang tough, win games they probably shouldn't win, and then lose games that they should have won. And it'll be an upside down season for them overall, but they'll finish the season 8-9. Yeah, I don't like Rodgers. It's a risk. Anyways, sorry. Please continue, Andrew.
You guys are more generous than I am.
Oh,
I think their defense was going to be very, very tired this year because they're going to be on the field most of the game, every game. I got them going 5-12.
wow. Okay.
And I think those 5 wins are going to come earlier in the season because they'll surprise some teams. But that defense is going to get tired because they're going to have to play. I think that the ball possession time is going to be 75% for the other team, 25% for Pittsburgh. I don't think they're going to have long, sustained drives that's going to, give their defense a lot of time to rest. And they'll start in the second half of the season. I think it's just going to be a disaster because, like as you guys said, as soon as Rodgers sees some adversity, he's going to Keith Kachuk and just turtle and hide in his shell. And look what happened in New York when things did not go right at the beginning of last year. He fell apart the rest of the year, and he didn't step up as a leader to say, "Guys, we can turn this around." It was just like, well, I guess it's over. And I think that's going to rub off on everybody else.
Well, what if Joe Flacco was like the starting quarterback instead of?
Actually, I'd rather have Joe Flacco than Aaron Rodgers.
Right now, and I'm not a Flacco fan either, but yeah, I'd rather have Flacco right now than Rodgers because Rodgers the last couple of years has just been brutal. And Flacco has been more consistent.
I think Flacco's more of a team player right now.
Yeah, but I don't think Flacco can last a whole year. He could not. I don't think he could be the starting quarterback for 17 games and go into the playoffs. I think that's too much for him. But I think he is in a great situation in Cleveland where if he needs to take a couple games off to rest his body, they've got other quarterbacks to come in and then he could go back and play or what have you. If they play him half the year, I think that's golden for Cleveland.
You know, Flacco is
although it's
1 year younger.
although my record is not going to reflect what I just said, but
Flacco's 1 year younger than Rodgers?
Yeah, 40 to
yeah,
41. Yep.
Wow. I'd still rather have
Yeah.
Flacco.
yes,
Mm-hmm. Okay,
just not in Cleveland.
let's talk about Cincy. Cincy with their porous defense, where they finally got a deal done for Shamar Stewart. They still haven't extended Trey Hendrickson. That defense is going to be porous. It's going to be terrible. But that offense is going to be glorious. I think there's going to be so many fancy football points coming from this team. It's going to be great. I actually have them taking the 10-7 spot. So that's what great from Cincinnati is to me. With the defense, like as it looks like on paper, I think this team is going to win some. Slow start again. That just seems to be the weird MO. I don't know if this year is going to be where they break that habit, but slow starts, they finish 10-7, they make the playoffs.
I'm more confident, and I think what's going to happen is they're going to get some wins early. The defense is going to shore up themselves because they're going to get more confident, and they're going to end up 11-6.
Wow, 11-6, big believer over here. All right, Slick, what do you got?
Well, if they can cure that slow start that they've kept having over the years, I can definitely see that. But I'd win 10-7 as well, just a 1 game improvement. Similar to Pittsburgh, you know, I agree, Andrew, in that I think they could be 11-6, but they just keep. It's like the opposite of Pittsburgh. They just keep not getting it done for some reason, and you don't know why. So I feel like I can't predict them to go that high. So I'm just sticking with 10-7.
They're like the Chargers of of 4 or 5 years ago, but the opposite. The Chargers started strong and then fell apart in the second half.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been starting slow and then finishing off a lot stronger. I think they're going to get a few more wins earlier in the season, and they'll go through a little stretch where they lose 2 or 3 in a row. But I think that'll happen in the middle of the season. Then they'll right the ship and they'll take off and they'll make the playoffs. And then as a wild card, and then watch out, they could do some damage in the playoffs. Just because, like you said, Mike, that offense is so explosive that they can out. So what? My defense gave up 35 points or 40 points. My offense is going to put up 50. Who cares?
Well, in that way, you know, to make another comparison, they remind me of the old, you know, Indianapolis Colts under Manning, where,
Yes.
you know, you got your locked in quarterback and top 2 receivers, and you're paying them a ton of money, so you know you can't spend it all on defense, but, you know, you hope it can just make up the difference.
And now they got a decent running back, so they got a decent running game. So you're right. I think the offense has all the pieces, but I think that those wins will bring like I said, I think it'll bring up the confidence of the defense, and maybe that'll be the difference.
All right. Cleveland. Andrew, back to you.
Everything is wrong with this team. 3-14.
Oh, I think that's pretty good. They at least repeat where they finished last year, 3-14. That's pretty good. Slick.
Yeah, I went with pretty bad here, so 2-15.
Okay.
Yeah, just a couple wins, maybe at the start of the year, but then they get like 3 losses in a row. They do the quarterback rotation, you know, merry-go-round, and just kind of keep losing for the rest of the year.
Can I split the two? Can I go 2.5?
I think that's high.
Yeah, it's kind of like where I want to fit in here. Is I think 3 is kind of where they're. I'll go 3-14. I think that's kind of where they fall, but 2-15 is probably not like too far off from reality either. I don't know if this team's got in them enough wins.
Yeah, there's not enough offensive weapons. Their defense their defense will keep them in games, but they're going to lose those close games because the offense can't close it out to get that final drive, to get the winning field goal or what have you. And I think they're going to have a lot of ugly games where the score is like 13-9, or everything's going to be low scoring.
Here's what I think. I think it's more of an identity issue as opposed to a talent issue. I think there are some talented players here, and I think the potential's there. I don't know if I believe in the coaching staff is able to tie all of this together to make it work, especially if they're consistently changing their plan week to week as they rotate out quarterbacks. Because what if you go into a game and the quarterback that's playing for you, whoever that is having a relatively good game, and maybe they put up 28 points, but they lost 36-28. Well, you know what? From the positive standpoint, the guy put up 28 points. And that might be the highest score they get all year. And then they go into another game where they won, but they won 21-20. Like, does that guy really get the justification to start? Because, like, how did the actual gameplay unfold throughout the day? And I think that's what I'm going to look for in this team. Is it's not just overall like performance, but how well does this team actually like work together? Because I think that, like, we know what David Njoku can do. We've seen it done before. Jerry Jeudy performed. Cedric Tillman had a couple games last year when he was healthy. There was like, wow, this guy has got potential on a football field where he's torching like quality defensive backs, and nobody knew who this kid was. We picked him off of waivers. Okay, Chase Brown, again, amazing running back. Not this team, sorry, wrong team. Quinshawn Judkins, don't know what this kid's going to do, but he's already in hot water off the field. And that's going to carry into the locker room. Jerome Ford can't carry the workload by himself. He's not a big enough back to carry that amount of work. So is that Dylan Sampson then going to get it? Or is it somebody else? Like, I think there's potential here, but I don't think the identity is going to be clearly defined and locked in for these guys to play cohesively throughout the year to make it work. And that's why I think 3-14 is where they're going to land, if not less.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I agree with a lot with that, Mike. That's a really good point. And it made me just think, I wonder if they drafted Shador in round 2 and kind of like committed to him. Even in round 2, he would have been a quote unquote value. And then they kind of like committed to him, selling jerseys, getting some like momentum going. Everyone's not going to expect him to be that great off the bat, but he's got a longer leash, and they kind of develop him. Maybe that would have been kind of a better way to kind of create a little more cohesiveness than, everyone being on the hot seat the whole time and the possibility of it all folding and spiraling.
Yeah, those are valid points too. Yeah, it would have been nice if they had been able to create consistency.
You drafted Dylan round 3, Shador round 5. You have Deshaun Watson and the chaos that he brings. You signed Joe Flacco. You traded for Kenny Pickett. Like, what message? Like, we as fantasy football fans, we're confused. We don't know where it's going. We're looking to see what's happening in training camp. It's kind of divided up in the way that you would expect it to be. I wouldn't expect Kenny Pickett to be in the running. I would expect Kenny Pickett to be the backup. And his numbers are kind of showing maybe that's the case. Dylan Gabriel, wow, they're really putting this kid through the paces, right? He's had the most reps in camp. So maybe they really do believe that this guy could be it, and they want to give him a shot. And they're keeping Shador off to the side because, hey, you're only round 5. We don't have to expect much from you. Maybe secretly we want you to be more, but we're going to try and work our way through this mess. But to do that, we're going to stumble a lot along the way to get down to you, Shador. And because of the injuries that have already sustained, we had to go and get Tyler Huntley. Yeah, it's too confusing for me. I hope they figure it out. I honestly think the coaching staff there is probably not long for this team. This might be their last year. I'm not really sure how much they've been around. I can't even tell you who the coach is at the moment. So, I'm so lost in what's going on in Cleveland. Don't have high expectations. With that said, let's put together our best fantasy lineup from the AFC North. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and one flex. That could be your running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end if you so choose. Now, Slick, I see you've already selected yours. It's hiding in black. So let's save that one for last. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna make this real easy. I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson.
Whoa.
Big shock surprise. Joe Burrow could be like out of everything here. I think you could make an argument for Joe Burrow. However, I do like the rushing upside and the vulture stealing touchdowns at the goal line for Lamar Jackson. So that's who I'm taking. Andrew?
I've got to go with the Bengals.
Really? You're going Joe?
Oh, you're gonna homer it.
That's right.
Okay.
I think from they've got so many weapons that he's still getting 6 points for throwing a touchdown as opposed to Jackson running it in. So
all right.
Unless Burrow can start figuring out how to throw it to himself, then we'll get to double points.
Wow.
Oh man.
Okay.
I mean, he was the QB3 last year. It's not crazy.
Yes.
It's not impossible.
It's going to be
5,000 yards
between the two of them.
5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns.
Wow, that's a big ask, but
it's been done. He wouldn't be the first one to do it.
No, true.
Okay, Slick, who do you got?
Yeah, I did go with Lamar Jackson, but you're right to consider Burrow there. You know, he is really good, and I didn't even really think about it. To be honest, I was just like, Lamar, obviously is the number one.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yeah, you could go either way. I'm just more comfortable with Lamar. Running backs. We've got Derrick Henry, Chase Brown. I'm not sure I could pick anyone from Cleveland. Yeah, then there's kind of arguments in the backfield. Does anybody know how did Derrick Henry finish last year?
Number 3 RB.
3?
Yeah,
there we go.
On a team that was run heavy that had Lamar Jackson, who finished also, I believe, in the top 3, if not number 1.
Number 1 was Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you make an argument for anything other than Derrick Henry? Which is where I'm going.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Really, you can't. I mean, Chase Brown is going to be in the division, Chase Brown will be the number 2 running back, but Henry will be there. Yeah. He's the only one getting it.
Well, if you're really challenging someone to make an argument, I will make the same argument that's been made the last 3 years about Derrick Henry. He's getting old.
Yeah. Keep making that argument, and he just keeps making that ridiculous face where he's scaring people on the field. Have you seen those pictures?
No.
Oh, you need to go look at Derrick Henry running at you pictures from last year. So somehow the end zone cameraman is taking a picture of Derrick Henry running at the end zone, and the face, the eyes, the mouth of just pure excitement.
Google auto-filled it for me, Mike. I just typed Derrick Henry and it said running face. It hears me. It understands.
My goodness. They were some of the best pictures of him. Just you could see the joy and excitement, but anybody on the other end of that is like, I don't want you to touch me. Please don't hit me, Mr. Henry.
He looks like he is psychotic. Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. I would imagine Marshawn Lynch was probably the same way.
Oh, yeah. In full-on beast mode? Yes.
Because if you go to tackle him and he walks all over you, that's just going to put a bigger grin on his face.
Yeah, you're just empowering him at that point. Okay, is it safe to say you went Derrick Henry?
And I did, yes.
Okay, Derrick Henry. Woo woo. Yeah.
Wide receiver, I think, is going to be a
is everyone going Jamar Chase?
Yep.
Is no Zay Flower fans out there? T. Higgins, maybe?
I thought about Deontay Johnson, but no.
Yeah, right.
Okay, cool.
Him and Aaron Rodgers are going to be bedmates. So
okay. Now, here's where I think things can actually get interesting, because you've got Mark Andrews, Jonnu Smith, David Njoku, and Mike Gesicki. When it comes to tight ends, Jonnu Smith finished top 5 last year for Miami. Okay. Mark Andrews had an extremely slow start and finally got it going. And now with Isaiah Likely out of the way, at least for a short period, does he able to kind of capture the market share now? I don't know if I trust Mike Gesicki on a consistent basis, but David Njoku with Joe Burrow at the start, there could be some magic here. And I'm really uncomfortable making the first choice because between Jonnu, all right, who do you got?
I got Njoku because he's going to be the only offense.
David Njoku. Okay.
Like I said when we were doing the team stuff, it's going to be him and Jerome Ford. And if it's 5 yards, between 5 and 10 yards to the goal line, they're probably going to throw the Njoku right at the goal line so he can fall in backwards.
Fair enough. All right, Slick, you've got your selection. Do you mind sharing it?
I'm also gonna zag here, and I also went David Njoku. So
no,
Andrew stole my thunder.
Sorry.
But I will say he just hasn't put together a full season in the last 3 years or something. So he's never like, oh, he finished tight end 3. You never really get it, but like on a per game basis, he's really been great. And he's been doing it with crappy quarterbacks too. So if he can just put a season together, even though it's going to be crappy quarterbacks, I think he's going to be good.
Okay. I'll pivot. I'll go Mark Andrews. I was hoping you guys would each do something different and I'd pick the leftover. So I wouldn't have to pick between Jonnu Smith and Mark Andrews, but then I realized I don't like Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to go Mark Andrews.
There we go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to get over the Andrews start last year.
Yeah,
I already penciled in my brain or penned in my brain of he is washed, and then obviously he finished the year with the missed catch in the end zone against the Bills, so didn't really help.
The death threats will wake you up
or keep you awake. One of the two. One eye open. All right, flex. Now there are some wild choices here. Just to go, like, you could take a shot, Jerry Jeudy. You could take a shot, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. You could go DK Metcalf. Maybe take a shot on one of these running backs, Jalen Warren or Caleb Johnson. Maybe this is where Zay Flowers comes in for you guys. I'm really curious to see what you guys end up doing. I'm going to make a choice, and I'm going to go Chase Brown. I think T. Higgins won't have a full year. He's never had a full year. I don't expect him to have a full year. I expect him to be great when he's on the field, but I expect Chase Brown to have a full year of awesomeness. Andrew.
That's where I went as well.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay. I thought I was all alone on this one. Okay. Out of all of those potential options at flex, Slick, who do you got as your flex play?
Nope, I'm joking. Chase Brown.
Oh,
I also went Chase Brown. Yeah, he's
wow. Okay,
I already mentioned it before, but he's locked in. He's the RB1 on a great offense. It's other people have changed situations like DK Metcalf. And we talked about how Zay Flowers just doesn't feel like a wide receiver 1. I think it's kind of obvious to go Chase Brown.
All right. Well, hey, I'm happy that I got to pick a guy that I was actually nervous about selecting, that thought I was stepping outside of my comfort zone to go out there and reach for Chase Brown in this spot. I thought the norm would be T. Higgins would be maybe next up on this list. Maybe jumping in to go grab DK Metcalf. But because he's new to the team and it's Aaron Rodgers, I didn't feel super comfortable with that selection. So to me, it was either going to be T. Higgins or Chase Brown. And I'm happy that you guys all chose Chase Brown too.
Yeah.
It just does make it more difficult for us to separate ourselves at the end of the year when we look back at this, because we're going to be eliminating, all right, wide receiver and flexes. It's going to come down to, and running backs, it's going to come down to Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow, and then Mark Andrews versus David Njoku. What an interesting combination. Okay. Well, that's it for this week's show. Thank you very much, Ryan, for making yourself available and joining us. It's been a great and wonderful summer. We appreciate you having you here. We appreciate getting to play some football with you each and every year. Not everybody gets to win, but it's nice that we get to play with people that we can enjoy and revel in those victories with.
Oh, speaking of which, Mike, you're starting to run out of time.
Oh no, baby, I got my name ready.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I got it.
When are you going to reveal it?
It'll be the week before week 1. So the week before the season starts, you will find out your new name. I will share with you the picture. That's the one part I don't have nailed down yet. I'm looking for the one that truly encompasses the slanderous name that I've chosen for you. It's gonna be good.
Okay.
I'm very happy with it.
Nice.
We've had some good conversations. We've shared some beers, and it just finally started to float to the surface. Yeah, that's Andrew. That's Andrew next year. Yep, that's him. It's what he needs to be.
Okay.
It's gonna be good. I'm excited for you. I almost spit it out here. I'm so excited to share it. It's gonna be good.
I can't wait.
And it is family friendly. Just so we're clear, it's not. It's something that you can tell your wives that we gave this guy in our football league this name, and here's why. And it's like you can say it out loud. Yeah.
There we go.
I wanted to keep it PG.
There we go. Good.
All right, folks. Thank you very again for joining us. We're gonna be back next week as we move over to the NFC side of things. We're gonna kick things off, talk about some football. Let me grab that schedule for you right meow, and we will look at and my computer is loading so slow today. Hey, on a quick side note, I'm buying a new computer. I ordered new parts yesterday. They're arriving later this week. I'm buying some more parts as soon as they go on sale. I'm gonna build myself a new supercomputer, and hopefully things will be great and awesome and wonderful. NFC West starting next week. That's what we're doing. NFC West. Come back next week. We'll talk about those guys, and we'll have a lot of fun. From one poor man to another. Remember, folks, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a great week. Have a great week, everybody.